Hello, Erica here, and I'm here today to do the Little Less Lonely tag. Again, I don't do tag videos that often, and I'm trying not to do a ton for VEDA, because I feel like kind of sometimes they're just fillers, but I figured I'd do a couple that I've seen floating around that I've liked, and that I feel like have some good substance to them. This tag was originally created by Emma at Emma Reads, and I will link her original video down below. I really like the concept of this tag. It's about sharing books that made you feel a little less lonely, or that had a big impact on your kind of emotional health. The first book is a classic that seemed to get you. For that question, I've chosen something that I didn't expect to choose when I first read this question, but it is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. Now, this is my favorite Dickens novel, and I just think that there's something about the protagonist's struggle to find love and success and stability that really spoke to me when I think I read this when I was like 22, so I had just graduated from college and had no idea what I was doing with my life. I still don't, but that's another story for another day. And yeah, there's just something about David Copperfield's experience with the reality. Like, he kind of comes into his own and has to navigate the adult world, and he meets characters that are mean and that he mistrusts, and he realizes the struggles of being in love and things of that nature that I really identified with at that time in my life. The next one is A Surprise, a book that surprised you with how much it affected you. And that for me was The History of Love by Nicole Krauss. I did not know what to expect going into this book. It was kind of a cover buy, and I had heard about it a little bit, but not much. And this is the story of a couple of interconnected characters, and kind of they're all on this quest to reconcile themselves to the past and grow into their future, more or less. But this book absolutely broke my heart. There were moments that took my breath away. I sobbed through like the last 10 pages, and I never expected that to happen with this book. It's not huge. I just didn't expect it to be so profound and mean so much to me. Next is a book you read at just the right time, and this is a recent read for me, but this is Tiny Beautiful Things, Advice on Love and Life from Dear Sugar by Cheryl Strayed. I talked about this in my Snow Day recommendations video, and this is part self-help, part memoir, part advice column. It's hard to categorize it, but basically Cheryl Strayed wrote as an anonymous advice column writer. And this is a collection of some of the questions she was asked and her responses. And I read this in December, January, I can't remember. But it was cold outside and it was dark, and I hate winter. I always have a struggle with seasonal affective disorder when it gets dark. So when I read it, I was just feeling kind of hopeless and lethargic, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? I don't even know, and that's kind of smacked me back into reality. Cheryl Strayed writes a lot about how if you want to do something, you have to just go do it. And if you have a gut feeling, you should act on it. And so this book really made me get the hell out of bed and be more proactive about my life instead of laying around and feeling sorry for myself. And that was amazing. Next is a book that inspires you. This is another relatively recent read. I read this in February, and this is Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. And this book, which I did a full review on, and I'll link that down below, inspired me to pay more attention to the way that I treat other people. Whether subconsciously or actively, it taught me not to disregard people based on, race or ethnicity or sexual orientation or whatever, which is a basic lesson, and I've learned that many times, and I'm not saying that before I read this book I was inherently a racist homophobe, because that's not at all the case, but it just taught me that some things can be so ingrained into white privilege that I need to work and I need to pay more attention to how I'm treating other people, rather than just assuming that because in my heart of hearts I believe that all people should be treated equally, that I'm actually... I just lost my train of thought. What was that sentence? Sorry. So rather than just believe that I was always treating everyone equally and I was never kind of acting upon my white privilege, to openly recognize the privilege that I have and to not subconsciously treat people poorly because of the way I was brought up. Does that make sense? I don't know. I've lost my train of thought like 6 times, so I can't remember what I was saying. Anyway, this book changed my life recently, and you should read it. The last is a book that calms you, and I'm going real cliche on that, and that is the Harry Potter series. I hardly ever talk about Harry Potter on my channel, but I grew up as part of the Harry Potter generation. I'm 26, so the first book came out, I think, when I was like 9, and the last book came out the summer after I graduated high school. So that was huge. I definitely grew up with Harry Potter, and I love these books, and when I get really sad and really depressed, I curl up in bed and I reread the entire series. So if you ever catching me in one of my wrap-ups being like, and then I reread the entire series, you know that maybe I didn't do anything else that month because I was too sad to. So, you know, gotta love these. This is my original paperback of the first book. It's like torn to shreds. And look, this isn't my phone number anymore so I can show you, but look at my little tiny child handwriting. I love it. It's so good. And there's a smiley face stamp. I don't know what that is. It's probably from like a Scholastic book fair or something. Anyway, I love these books. And I will always love these books. So yes, that is the Little Less Lonely tag. I'm not going to tag anyone. I don't know who's done this. I haven't done my research. But if you want to do it, you should do it. It's kind of interesting to pick out those books that have helped you through hard times in your life. And thanks again to Emma for creating this, and I will see you all soon. Bye!